Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Dragon Ball Legends GamePress tier list for best fighters in Dragon Ball Legends. If you don't know what this tier list is, GamePress is a gaming website. They make this tier list. They have some of their Dragon Ball Legends, writers and stuff come together and decide who should be where on the tier list. And this is kind of like the biggest tier list, I feel, in the Dragon Ball Legends community. Loads of people make videos and discuss what they put in these tier lists. And of course, tier lists are always subjective. People will have different opinions and whatnot from their own experiences. But I will mention, I will leave a link to this tier list so you can go check it out on your own. The link will be in the description of this video, so you can go check that out. They do list here, like you can see, they list why they make some changes to people. So if you want to go through and read that on your own, I went through and read it before I started recording here. But if you want to go through and read it on your own, you can do that following the link in the description. But let's get into it. So last time I made a video about this, they did not have a God rank, or God tier, I should say. They do now have a God tier, which is the two Ultra, the two summonable Ultra fighters, Kaioken and Gogeta. And the reasoning for having Kaioken above Gogeta is because Kaioken's teams are better, they feel right now, and running him in leader slot is he's just a better unit as of right now than Gogeta is. I have both of these units actually at the same amount of stars. I have them both 12 stars myself personally. Both can do both can win you matches 3v1. I'm not gonna lie. It's just, I'd say it's easier to do so with Kaioken because he gets all those vanishes back. He can get lots of green cards, which give him ki, and then more cards. He can have super long combos. And Ultra Gogeta is more of like, he's going to obliterate you, absolutely still annihilate you with his, his two ultimates. Gets one off main and then one when he's last man standing. But he can be slightly harder because if you get caught in a combo, since he doesn't just, restore vanishes quickly as how Kaioken does, it can be a bit tougher. So I agree, Kaioken's probably the best unit in the game right now. Super amazing unit. I'm having a lot of fun using him myself. And as you can see here, they say that this tier is, like just broken characters winning matches on their own. They are, I think that fits very perfectly with the two Ultra units we have in the game. I should mention, this tier list came out yesterday, so super new tier list. It does include, as we're about to see, the new All-Star units. And yes, in Z tier, dropping down from God tier, you can see we have the new Sparking Angel Golden Frieza, one of the new All-Star units, I should say, Whis being the other. And he is the best Z tier unit according to GamePress. He is the best non-summonable Ultra unit in the game according to GamePress. I don't know if I'd quite agree with that. I do think he is very good. He is especially super helpful for Lineage of Evil, as they're the best team in the game. I don't think anyone would deny that. Lineage of Evil, getting him as a green helps. Like, he is like a perfect counter to Super Gogeta because of the abilities he has when he uses a blast arts. If your opponent gets hit by it or flies through it, they're still getting hit by it when they fly through with blast armor. But he makes it so their card cost goes up. He makes it so he takes reduced damage until their combo ends. He just is like a perfect counter to Ultra Super Gogeta. And so he's very helpful to the best team in the game, being Lineage of Evil. Lineage of Evil is the best team in the game. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They just have some amazing... You can see here, they have 3 units in Z tier. They have Revival Frieza, who he's a revival. So even if you're facing another LOE team and they rush with their full power Frieza, who nullifies endurance, nullifying endurance doesn't work if you're able to swap in your revival still comes back, as there's only one unit in the game that can stop a revival, and that's Beerus. The new blue Beerus, I should say. And then full power Frieza, man, this dude has everything. He's got a cover change, he's got blast armor, he can get vanish back on his main, he can nullify endurance on hits, so whether it's tap attack, a strike attack, a blast attack, a rush, whatever it may be, man nullifies endurance. Honestly, the biggest problem for Jiren in this game, because I run Jiren and Kaioken, and then I flip between different teams. I either run Kaioken and Jiren with Frieza, or Kaioken and Jiren with Ultra Super Gogeta, because I like having Jiren's endurance. That's the only reason I pick him over running Kaioken with Super Gogeta and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. But this man is like literally like the perfect counter to Jiren because he nullifies endurance, and that's like the big reason you bring Jiren. Is so if they rush you, you throw Jiren in against the rush. He survives because he has endurance and then gets stronger. But this man says, nah, we're not doing that today. I think not. So LOE is amazing, as you can see here. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, still a phenomenal unit, of course, with the Plat Equip. If you don't have his Plat Equip, you shouldn't be running him. You should be using the Plat Equip. Completely changes the unit. And then I still think, I know I've seen some people hating on Jiren. I still think Jiren is a very great unit. He is obviously, that's the point of his unit, is he's not the best before rush. He's not awful. I still can put in some work with him if they don't rush me. But your goal is that your opponent rushes you, and assuming they don't have an endurance nullifying unit, you throw Jiren at it. He survives even if you don't guess it. Comes back and absolutely slaps. Because, man, once he gets rushed, this dude becomes a whole different creature. Like, it's truly amazing. And even if, like, they are trying to avoid rushing Jiren or whatnot, people then, if they don't rush you, because that's the thing, people are trying to avoid making Jiren stronger. Some people just don't rush you at all, which then, okay, cool. You're not going to rush me? I'll take that any day of the week. That in itself is a huge bonus ability to Jiren. Now, some people don't care and will still rush, but that's, regardless. I think I'd agree with Z tier. I think I'd probably put full power Frieza above Angel Frieza. I'd probably put Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta above him as well, since he's lacking a cover change. I understand the reasoning is their LOE is a better team than Fusion's, but I don't know. I think just on their own, I'd probably put Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta above this Frieza, just from my experience so far. Frieza has been great, don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Frieza. He's won me a handful of matches, so I'm a big fan, but I don't know. This is my opinion. Let me know your opinion in the comments down below, because Z tier is always, this is the second best tier now, but no one's going to debate this. These two are far and away better than everyone else. So let me know your thoughts on that. Let's drop down into S tier now, which, as you can see, the Blue Bros have dropped down from Z tier. They're below all these dudes. They're the top of S tier. And the reasoning for this is that Mono Purple isn't as great as it once was. Obviously, a big part of that being the Ultra Kaioken Goku being a yellow, even though Goku and Vegeta have the swap thing. But when I faced Mono Purple running my Kaioken Goku, you can easily catch them having the Goku side out with Kaioken, and then they're absolutely obliterated. Even if you don't catch them, when I've been running the Green Angel Frieza, man, absolutely shreds the Vegeta half, obviously, because he's a green. That's how that works. But yeah, Mono Purple's definitely dropped off, so I could see why they'd be dropping down. I feel like also, I don't personally have them. I wasn't able to pull them when they came out. But I've seen lots of people who do run them and have run them a lot, saying that once they lost their boost in PvP for Dragon Ball Legends, it feels like that was kind of significant for them. And you can kind of feel that that boost isn't there anymore. It's more of like a noticeable thing, than say like, yes, obviously Ultra Gogeta isn't as good as when he had the boost. That's the point of the boost, but he's still amazing is the thing. You don't feel it as much as some people have said they felt it with the Blue Boys. Gohan here. Gohan is still a phenomenal, he's great if you're running him on leader slots in fusions. If you don't have like Kaioken, you want to run Gohan instead. Man has endurance, which is great unless you're facing full power Frieza. His green card, his cover change is phenomenal, deleting 2 cards even if it's not a blast attack. His blast attack, he absorbs it and then can attack. But even if they use strike, he still deletes 2 cards. So that's like a superpower cover change right there. Truly awesome. So I agree, Gohan is still amazing. Trunks is still a great unit. Can be very tanky. The whole when his gauge reaches full, deleting ki, super nice ability. So I could definitely agree with Trunks, still being up here. The Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta, he's also a great unit, really good at sniping since he has that lock in. But I've seen a bunch of people kind of misuse his main ability. Not use it to its full ability. Sometimes people pop it and then use another strike card, which if you pop it, it's obvious you're trying to kill the unit that, you're attacking right there. So not using it right away as soon as you pop it kind of defeats the purpose, because if you use another card, they can swap out the unit that you were probably trying to snipe. So, but otherwise, he's still a phenomenal unit. That's more just people using him problem, not necessarily him. It's not his problem as a unit, but he is a great unit. Obviously, the complaints are the same complaints that we had when he came out. He doesn't nullify endurance on his ult. He doesn't have a cover change, so those are just things that would make him better, but I'd still say he's a very solid unit. First form Frieza, this man I'd say is just taking a beating since Kaioken came out, being a purple. that he is, Kaioken absolutely wallops him. He is very nice with the whole blue cards, you know, all the blue cards that he gives to LOE. And I'd still say he's a very solid unit. But I would say, and I think it's probably shown here, that he has taken a slight hit, because that's why he's not up here with like the other Friezas, because this man exists, and this man absolutely decimates that poor Frieza. Super Vegito, mono purple again, has taken a dip. Fusions isn't as good as it was just a little bit ago, with LOE being better. Multiple yellows being in the meta that work really well against mono purple. Gohan, full power, Kaioken. That's why Super Vegito's down. This Frieza, super annoying, super tanky. I would say, I honestly fear facing this Frieza more than this Frieza, the purple Frieza, just because of how tanky and that this one has endurance and this one doesn't. But, you know, that's just my personal thing. I would put him higher than him, but, you know, it is what it is. Otherworld Super Saiyan Goku, the Yellow Zenkai Goku. I have really not seen this guy very often at all anymore. So I don't know if I'd put him up here anymore, to be honest, just out of like people aren't running him, and that would be for a reason. I rarely ever see this man. Yes, he still has his ability to be swapped in when you activate Rising Rush, which is super nice, but I just feel like he isn't in the meta right now, I'd say so. Just like, he's meant to be run. His teams just aren't really like, you got LOE, Fusions is still a good team. You have Universe Survival Saga, Future. I'd just say he's not as meta right now, so maybe drop him down, but that's just my thought. If you're a big fan of him, maybe you could let me know why you run him so often and love him so much. Whis, the other new unit that we have come out, wanted to get to this. So the new Sparking Whis, he is not as good as the Frieza, but he can be annoying. Because I believe he carries a green card, if I'm remembering correctly. He has the Obscure Effect, which is actually... the Obscure Effect is really annoying. I've faced a couple Whis, and they've gotten me with it. It is very annoying not knowing what cards you're pressing. That can be a whole problem. It can lead to them getting priority on you again, and then, you know, doing another combo, and maybe they're running Whis on God Ki with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, or, you know, whatever they're throwing Whis. We can really only run Whis on God Ki, which I say is a limiting factor, because I doubt people are going to put Whis in the leader slot, and he only buffs God Ki, so if you're running him on something not God Ki and not in the leader slot, you're really missing out on a huge, you know, his whole Z ability. That's what you're missing out on, which is a nice buff. So I would say that limits him. It's kind of sad that they only gave him a God Ki buff. If they did, I wish it was like kind of more, you know, since other characters, like, he has the same percentages for his Z ability buff as the Frieza, but the Frieza buffs LOE and Universe Survival Saga, and Whis is a one-man show, God Ki only. So I felt like maybe they should have given him a little higher percentage to make up for the fact that he's like a only one team kind of horse dude. But Whis is a support, and supports are never going to be put at the very top, because supports they're supports. That's quite literally what they are. They're meant to help other units. You can be a good support for sure, but it won't put you higher up. And then tier 1, some changes. Beerus, they did mention that Beerus does feel out of place on his team, and I wholeheartedly agree. About every other good Universe Survival Saga unit right now is a range type unit. Goku, range type. Jiren, range type. Green Frieza, range type. You can run Whis, or not Whis, Vados on there. She's also or I think she's support type, but she is more blast, you know, oriented. And Beerus just feels like he's not meant for the current Universe Survival Saga team right now. He just feels off, you know, being a strike-based unit. And he does have a super nice, you know, like, sniping ability. You can certainly use Beerus to your advantage. I'm not trying to say Beerus is awful. For sure not. I've seen some people use him very effectively. You know, you pop that green card when the unit's below 50% health, locks him in, you send a blue, you can stop them from reviving, you can stop their endurance. He's an excellent unit at just killing someone off, but you have to get him in the right situation to do that, which isn't necessarily super easy to do. The rest of these here, he's still annoying, but I'd say he's less annoying than he was when he first came out. He doesn't feel as, you know, oppressive in his defensive and stopping your combos and whatnot. Gohan, Gohan's biggest thing right now for him, I'd say, is just that the fact that he revives and is pretty, you know, good for a revival character compared, obviously, to like the blue Clapku and Revival Cell. He's far better than them in terms of stats and whatnot, but I really don't fear this man at all anymore. Most of the time I come up against him and I'm running Kaioken, it's just like, that's another unit to shred and cut down. He's annoying, the fact that he revives, you know, so that's a nice thing to him. If he didn't have Revival, he'd just be way lower, I'm pretty sure. Chilled is not very scary in my opinion at all. He has his paralysis, which is annoying, but besides that, he's not scary. Super Saiyans seem to be falling out of the meta. You could still obviously run a quality team running Bardock, Super Gogeta, and like Super Vegito, but I just feel like Super Saiyans are kind of falling off. Green Frieza is probably the weakest of the LOE. He's a free-to-play, so not necessarily surprising since that's kind of how free-to-plays work. But, yeah, he's not all too... He was scarier when it was Ultra Gogeta being run all the time, but not as much anymore. And then we have a lot of yellows here. Big yellow gang. Lots of yellows going on here. Majub's still annoying with his green card to get priority. This man can still do some very nice damage. Both of these two, you know, you can use well. When you get further down the tier list, it's harder to, like, you know, specify things. This Vegeta is still very good if you are looking, you know, you're newer to the game or something, looking for a solid unit. This is a solid free-to-play unit to run on a God Key setup or whatever. The Vegeta is very solid. Omega Shenron, fantastic at tanking. But honestly, red units, I think Omega's the highest ranked red unit. Yeah, he is. All the way down in tier 1. And like a significant way down tier 1, he's the highest ranked red unit. Red units are in the gutter right now. So hopefully we get something that is a good red unit. Maybe Anniversary. I know a lot of people have been saying red MUI for Anniversary. I would not be against that. Red definitely needs some help. Red is looking like the weakest color in the game right now, which is clearly evidence, you know, shows that here on this tier list. And then, you know, red, Vegeta. Both, like, Omega, I'd say, is definitely better. Because when I face Omega, and if I'm running a blue unit, like if I'm running Super Gogeta, I'd still say Omega is pretty good at taking hits. While if you... Obviously, I know it's a blue versus a red, but still, this man gets absolutely obliterated. Even when I was running Kaioken, I faced someone running this Vegeta, and I was running Kaioken, and just because Kaioken can continue his combo for so long, I nearly killed this man in one attack. Just charging up, getting more cards, attacking. Red Vegeta is not very scary, but I would probably say... no, I'd probably put this Gohan above Vegeta still. If just my personal opinion, I'd probably put FSK Gohan above Ape Vegeta, but... dude, honestly, personally, I mean, I know there are big Ape Vegeta fans. If you're a big Ape Vegeta fan, feel free to defend him. But in all my experiences running up against Ape Vegeta, I honestly find him scarier. He's more annoying because he takes away your Vanish. Zamasu is normally run with the Zenkai buff from Rose now, and so Zamasu is probably more annoying to me than Ape Vegeta. Ape Vegeta I probably would lower down compared to the other Reds, but that's just my opinion from him so far. And I think that's where we'll end it, because, you know, kind of... It gets harder to talk about each individual unit the further you move down the tier list. Let me know your thoughts on the tier list. What do you agree with? What do you not agree with? What would you change? What would you make different if you were in control of the tier list? I love hearing your guys' thoughts and opinions on units. Let me know in the comments down below. But if you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Don't forget that bell if you want notifications for every time I post a video. And don't forget to follow me on Twitch. Been live streaming like every day in a row now. We've been having a good little streak here, so love to see you guys in the chat sometime. And I hope you all are staying happy and healthy, having the best of days. I'll catch y'all tomorrow.